Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everybody. My name is Nur Amira Izzati binti Muhammad Kamal. Precision agriculture allows the farmer to maximize yields using minimal resources such as water, fertilizer, and seeds. By deploying sensors on drones, the farmer can begin to understand their crops at a micro scale and conserve resources. The use of drones in agriculture, specifically in precision agriculture, has been rapidly increasing over the past 5 years. Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, or we known as UAV, is a revolutionary tool for gaining knowledge about the development of crops and hence boosting yields and maximizing the production efficiency. UAV carry different types of sensors such as optical, multispectral sensor, and thermal modules, which are used in the range of application in agriculture. The multispectral imaging camera allow the farmer to manage crops, soil, fertilizing, and irrigation very effectively. There are a huge benefits to both farmer and the wider environment by minimizing the use of sprays, fertilizers, wastage of water, and at the same time increasing the yields from crops. The multispectral remote sensing imaging technology uses greens, red edge, and the near-infrared waveband to capture both visible and invisible image of crops and vegetation. The multispectral image integrates with the agriculture software, which output the information into the meaningful data. We all know our human eyes is very sensitive only to the wavelength between 400 until 700 nanometer, which is known in the visible spectrum. Human eyes can perceive a variety of color ranging from violet to red wavelength. However, it also can be shorter or longer than our visible eyesight. Even though we cannot see them, these invisible wavebands are very indicative of the agronomic characteristic of soil, plants, and crops. Now we move to the NDVI. NDVI stands for Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. It is the index of the plant greenness or photosynthetic activity, and it is one of the most commonly used for vegetation indices. Vegetation indices are based on the observation that different surface reflects different type of light differently. Photosynthetically active vegetation absorbs most of the red light which hits it while reflecting much of the near-infrared light. Vegetation which is dead or stressed reflects more light red and less near-infrared light. By taking the ratio of red light and the near-infrared light from a remotely sensed image, the index of vegetation greenness can be defined. The Normalized Difference Vegetation Index, or NDVI, is probably the most common ratio indices for vegetation. The NDVI is calculated on per pixel base as the normalized difference between the red and the near-infrared. The calculation for NDVI can be calculated as here. This is the vegetation spectrum. The diagram shows the spectral reflectance curve of three basic types of the earth features. For the first one is the green vegetation, the bare soil, and the clear water. The green, red, and the infrared is the main ones that use in the agriculture. However, the red edge, which is the short band corresponding to the near-infrared entry point, is also sometimes used for obtaining the additional indices. This is the multispectral vegetation index. For the green color, The green corresponds to the reflected energy in the 500 until 600 nanometer spectral band and has the greatest reflectance of a plant in this band. The reflectance peak is at around 550 nanometer. It has been proven that this spectral band is strongly correlated with the amount of chlorophyll contained in the plant. In this visible portion of the vegetation spectrum, the reflectance curve of a healthy plant exhibit the greatest reflectance in a green waveband. That is why plants appear green to us. A chemical compound in leaf called chlorophyll strongly absorbs radiation in the red and blue wavelength but reflects green wavelength. Leaves appear greenish to us, while in the summer, when chlorophyll content is at its maximum, there is less chlorophyll in the leaf, so there is less absorption and proportionately more reflection of the red wavelength, making the leaf appears red or yellow. The internal structure of a healthy crops act as excellent diffuse reflectors of near-infrared wavelength. Measuring and monitoring the near-infrared reflectance is one way to determine how healthy or unhealthy vegetation may be. Still, most of the light in the visible spectrum reflected by a plant under stress is in the green range. Hence, to the naked eye, a plant under stress is indistinguishable from a healthy one. On the other hand, the difference can be seen in the reflectance of light in the infrared range, which is far less. Next is the red color. Red color corresponds to the reflected energy in the 600 until 700 nanometer spectral band. The strong chlorophyll absorption in this band results in a low reflectance. Reflectance varies significantly in relation to factors such as biomass, LAI, which is leaf area index, soil history, crop type, humidity, and plant stress. For most crops, this band gives an excellent contrast between the plants and the soil, and it is extensively used for compiling most of the vegetation indices in agriculture. Next is the red edge. This is a very narrow band from 700 until 730 nanometer that corresponds to the entry point of near-infrared. It is the point of sudden change in reflectance, from strong absorption of red to substantial reflection of near-infrared. This band is very sensitive to plant stress and provides information on the chlorophyll such as crop health analysis, plant counting, and water management. The last one is NIR, near-infrared. Corresponds to the wavelength in the 700 nanometer until 1.3 micrometer range, has the strongest reflectance of the band studied. There is a very strong correlation between this reflectance and the level of chlorophyll in the plant. A highly significant variation of the reflectance in this band is produced when a plant is under stress. Along with the red spectral band, infrared is extensively used for compiling most of the vegetation indices in agriculture. NIR is sensitive to the leaf cellular structure and provides critical data to monitor changes in crop health, such as soil property and moisture analysis, crop health and stress analysis, water management, erosion analysis, and plant counting. Healthy vegetation absorbs blue and red light energy to fuel photosynthesis and create chlorophyll. A plant with more chlorophyll will reflect more near-infrared energy than an unhealthy plant. Thus, analyzing a plant spectrum of both absorption and reflection in visible and in infrared wavelength can provide information about the plant's health and productivity. From this, using NDVI ran through software, one is able to understand plant health based on the amount of light that is being reflected from the plant.